Good morning. I'm Mary Winters, and you're watching Visionary Aging. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to have a great show. We're going to talk about growth and learning and habit forming and things that may be. We talked about bucket lists last week. We're going to talk more about not those pesky goals that we kind of set up for ourselves and then we fail, but what can we do to move forward on things that really support our growth and our development? So it doesn't matter how old you are, we can learn at every single age. So let's go ahead and we'll bring in Steve McCullough and see what our caregiver question is for today. Hey, Steve, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's already the first week of January in 2024. Can't believe it. So
have you made a mistake of using the wrong date this year yet?
Not yet. We don't write it very often anymore. We don't write checks very often or anything that way. So we don't have as many opportunities to mess up. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about our question for today.
Sure. Our question comes from one of our viewers. She says that she has learning disabilities and worries about forgetting things, and she wants to know what she could do to help her attention span.
Okay. Well, attention span might be a little bit different, but I think the best thing for someone with learning disabilities or who is having any kind of early memory loss is routine. Putting things in routine places so that you always know to go to those specific places. The more you establish those routines, the less likely you are to have issues with taking off and your keys aren't where they're supposed to be, or your handbag, or anything in regards to just your daily routines and helping yourself out. So the more consistent you can be with that, the better you are. And in regards to the learning disabilities, I know sometimes people have a hard time even going through some of the initial testing that might indicate whether this is memory loss or a learning disability. So that's something that's really important if you're talking with your doctor or you're talking with a neurologist or someone who's testing you in that area, to let them know that you have a history or you believe you have a history, even if you haven't been tested, that you want to share. This has been, an issue for me. I transpose numbers, or I am not able to retain information beyond like 2 or 3 things. I've never been able to do that. That's something that people need to know when they're testing you, so that you're really starting off on a fair playing ground when we start looking at what kind of deficits are taking place as you're aging. So really important to make sure that you share those things too. But I think
actually the question, I apologize. The question was, what should I be paying attention to? So I think you answered that.
What should I be paying attention? Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to distinguish which may be which. Obviously, if you knew you had a problem in different areas, I have brilliant people that will test. It's called a MoCA, or we have a mini mental exam. The MoCA exam, it's MoCA, stands for Montreal Cognitive Assessment. And it can actually drill down to the very early stages of having some memory loss, which can be really helpful because it also looks at each domain of our brain too, to see where you are lacking. But if you know already that you have certain issues, I had a gentleman, brilliant man. He said, I've never been able to get to sketch out a specific, like a hectagon, or they're kind of interfacing kind of shapes that we have on the test. He's like, I've never been able to get that. So that's something that was really important to know. So share it with your assessor, the neurologist, or whoever is meeting with you. But definitely routine is so important. So I think we're even going to talk a little bit about habits and about how we really help to grow our brains still, regardless of how old we are. We have, if you've not heard of the term neuroplasticity, that is something that has, we didn't think that our brains could grow and could connect in other areas until fairly recently. And we know through some of the work of Dr. Cohen that that you actually can start creating other pathways in your brain to learn when certain things have been shut off in your brain. So an older aging brain is actually much more flexible than a younger brain oftentimes, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. So let's see. I think we also have Melinda on with us today too. Should we go ahead and bring her in, and we'll have a little chat today? Well, we should do her intro too. So let me see if I can find that here. Okay. Hey, Melinda, how are you?
Hey, good morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
So let's talk a little bit about habits, and I think we were even going to talk a little bit about dry January, or
yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about detoxing your life now that it's January.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to get back into their healthy habits. There's, I guess I came up with kind of like 8 ways to detox your life. So I was going to briefly mention those today, and thought maybe you had some things to add, Mary, and even Steve. So the first one was like a digital detox, and that's like just reducing screen time and social media, for mental well-being. I think a lot of times we get really caught up in being on our screens, and it can, just really do our bodies and our minds, our whole well-being good to step outside and get out into nature and put down the screens. So that first one is
before bed. You should put those things away at least an hour before you go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's really so that your brain can rest. Yeah.
And it promotes better sleep if you can get off those screens an hour before you go to bed. The second one would be the nutritional detox, which is what most people think of when January 1st rolls around. Is just, getting back into a more balanced diet after the sugary foods or the alcohol that, may have been prolific in December. So that nutritional detox is a big one. The third one I came up with is decluttering. So kind of organizing your life again, going through your physical space and decluttering the physical space, making sure that your environment is calm and setting yourself up for the rest of a really good year. Mm-hmm. The fourth one would be your mindful practices. So decluttering your mind, doing some meditation, maybe incorporating a little bit of yoga or anything that brings an individual peace, anything that helps someone de-stress. Mm-hmm. The fifth one I thought of was healthy relationships. So, taking a look and assessing the people that you're spending your time with, and what those people are adding to your life. Is it positivity? Is it negativity? You always have that really good saying, Mary, of like, oh, I must weed the friend garden.
Yeah.
I think that your mom used to say to you.
She still does.
Yeah. Yeah. So it may be time to weed the friend garden. And I really like that, but really making sure that you're nurturing your relationships and putting the right amount of positivity and effort into them so that that's what they're, bringing into your life. The sixth one I came up with was exercise. So getting back into some regular physical activity, whether that's, at the strength shop with like someone like me or our personal trainers, or whether it's just like getting back into your walking routine or, incorporating any type of physical activity in any way, daily or weekly. The seventh one I thought of was limiting toxins. So paying attention to what you're eating, What you're putting on your body is a big one. So whether it's, people will use perfumes or lotions or shampoos, and really kind of paying attention to what kind of products you're using. The other big one that's happening right now, or that's kind of the buzz around town right now, is candles, scented candles, and the toxins that they release into your house. So there are people are starting to produce toxin-free candles. So kind of looking for those things so that you're not releasing all sorts of toxins into your breathing air at home.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's becoming a big thing, is whether or not the candles you're buying are having toxins. Of course, I always recommend people do not have those Glade air fresheners, or like the air fresheners you plug into the wall.
The really truly fake ones.
Super, it's just releasing chemicals into your environment. And if you're already suffering with any type of health situation, chronic or otherwise, those, breathing that in is not going to help your body heal. And then the last one I thought of was time management. So prioritizing your tasks, making sure that you have time to just be a human and not do anything, that you need to do. And making sure that you're able to get the things that you need to get done, but then also having the time for yourself to do the things that bring you joy.
Yeah. So actually something that I'm doing with my team right now is we're going through our ABC task lists and all the things within their job, their skill set too. And so I'm having them go through their job description and look at the things that they love doing, could do it all day long, wish they could, the things that they feel like they enjoy doing. They may need a little more support or some extra tools to kind of get them through, and then they wish they weren't on their list at all. And it helps me to understand where their strengths are and where things are going to get done. I can kind of tell over the year that if they're not lifting certain projects, that maybe that's something that they're not able or interested in doing. They may really enjoy very routine tasks. But it's really interesting hearing them discuss what they think is beneficial or that they enjoy doing. And then it actually helps to grow and spur other things that they might be able to add in their job. And can we make some shifts with one person versus another? Or, sorry, that's part of your job and that's something that you are going to be stuck with. And there are things in my job that I don't enjoy either, but it's something that we know has to get done. So
that's an excellent survey.
Yeah.
You can also make little tweaks. I know we just did a team survey at the Strength Shop as well. And one of the things that we found was that some of our teammates, they didn't feel comfortable bringing our little sandwich board in after dark in one of our locations. And so we're like, well, let's just bring that in before dark.
Right.
So we can make little adjustments like that. But yeah, I mean, you can do that same assessment on your overall life. I know that there's an entrepreneurial exercise that sets up kind of 4 quadrants. And in one quadrant, it's like things that I'm really good at that I love to do. Mm-hmm. And then the next one is like things I'm really good at that I don't like to do. Mm-hmm. And then there's like things that I'm not good at, but I love doing.
Yeah.
And then things that I'm not good at and I really don't like doing.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of like categorize everything that you do in your life.
Exactly.
And they say that, you only really want to be doing mostly the things that you love and that you're good at.
Right.
And that those other things, if there's other people in your life, whether it's a family member or somebody that you live with that might be really good and enjoy those other things, that's where you can kind of share responsibilities. And then you have the opportunity to potentially outsource the things that you really don't enjoy and that you're not that great at.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. So when we were fitting in our little boxes, so to speak, we were actually really enjoying our day. We love our jobs and we're really productive, presumably. So yeah, absolutely. And I also love the 8 that you picked today, and they're so similar to our Shape Up program.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and I'll pull our Shape Up list up. And I think we'll talk more in detail over the year on this, but we know scientifically this is all research. So these are 7 measures that we know support people in their longevity. And first, it's an acronym for those things. So SHAPE UP stands for spiritual community, healthy life balance, attitude and influencers, physical activity, eating habits, united family, and purpose. And the thing that's so important about identifying one of these or more for yourself is that just taking little teeny baby steps towards having that better relationship or changing your attitude or just looking at the candles that you have in your house to make a little teeny baby step to improve your healthy life balance, or to reach out to that family member or your best friend or somebody you haven't talked to for a year before COVID, because we all started bubbling and eliminating everybody from our lives versus just doing what we normally did for communication. So give yourself a chance, an opportunity to really dig in and find something special that you really like off of this list. Do you want to be part of your spiritual community? Do you want to start meditating in the morning? We have our workbook, and we'll have that available this next week. So if people want to go ahead and take that journey on their own, they're welcome to do that. But let's go ahead and we'll also bring Steve in and talk a little bit about this day in sports.
Perfect.
All right. So let's see. Do we have him here? Let's see if we can bring him back. Here we go. He's here. And I'll take out our Shape Up 7.
Hello.
Hi. So tell us what this day in sports is all about.
Sure. So the year was 1971, and the location was Martin, Tennessee. And on this day, 53 years ago, the New Jersey Reds, also known as the Washington Generals, beat the Harlem Globetrotters 100-99. So if you ever watched the Harlem Globetrotters play, they play a lot and they win a lot. They've won over 27,000 games in their existence. They've only lost 345. But on this night, the New Jersey Reds, they snapped the Globetrotters' 2,495 game winning streak. And they beat them 100-99. Yes. The Globetrotters, Curly Neal, who's one of their captain and one of their best players, did not play in the game. But yeah. When
I was a kid, they had a cartoon with the Harlem Globetrotters, and Curly was the big character.
Right. Yeah, the stories are that people that were in attendance left the game in tears because the Globetrotters always won.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, a friend of mine was an announcer for them for several years.
Yeah.
All around the country with them as their announcer. So it's that's a great fact. Really neat. Yeah. Let's see what our.
You remind me now. I have to make my next appointment for the string shop.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I got out of rotation with the holidays and my tournament work. So yes.
I just passed my credit card, so I have another like half a year.
Yeah. 20 sessions. That's a half a year. Yeah.
Exactly. So here we go. We've got today in the perk. You can always ask Ginny for a copy of this. We have National Bird Day. Mm-hmm. So if you would like to have a copy of the perk, it's great fun. We have a crossword or word search in the back, talking about somebody who may have learning disabilities. This is a great thing to just keep your brain active and using the visual side of your brain as well. But tomorrow, let's see what's tomorrow. The Epiphany, the Three Kings Day. So just really great facts and little puns with the kings for tomorrow. On their long trek, the three kings use camels to get them over the hump. Oh, and they also talk about Schoolhouse Rock. I loved Schoolhouse Rock. So yeah, go ahead.
What was the story about Schoolhouse Rock? I can't read that at my.
Oh, let's bring it back. Let's see.
It debuted in 1971. It looks like
it debuted
or 75.
Look at you with your young eyes.
Yes. I'm using my glasses and I still can't see. Schoolhouse, yeah, it debuted. That's so cool. I remember when I was a kid.
Yep.
You're too. Did you have it when it was?
Yeah,
still
we had
going
it.
when
I
you were a
had
kid
it.
too. Oh yeah.
I actually have a CD for those our viewers that are younger. They might not know what a CD is, but it's a thing we used to put into these devices to listen to music, and it was Schoolhouse Rock, but it was from current bands.
Oh,
so like
interesting.
Green Day.
Oh.
Yeah, so like Green Day played one of the songs, and it's all these like the popular, like performers or bands at the time. I love it.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, Schoolhouse Rock was amazing. It helped to teach everybody their times tables, what conjunctions,
Yeah.
And
what a bill was.
And a bill.
Bill becomes a law.
Just a bill.
Oh.
Anyway, silly stuff, fun stuff.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Absolutely, it was the best. When we only had certain things that
Saturday morning cartoons were so fun, right?
And when they came out, we didn't have DVD players, we didn't have anything, and we didn't have all these options. It was just that, and then you got up, and that was what you got. Sometimes you had 3 stations, and you could jog it around there. Yep. It's a lot of fun. Right. Plus, I think you grew up in Europe or the UK, and you had the BBC.
They didn't have Saturday morning cartoons.
I don't know. I think they did, but I don't know that you had any options other than one channel. I'm not sure. That'll be interesting. We'll have to have viewers reach out to us and tell us. So the other thing I want to share.
My brother and I were the first remote controls.
Oh, nice. So your parents
were. I would say, go change the channel.
Yeah, go change the channel. You know what? We have a great program now, a 1-to-1 program. Let me just do this little quick. Little app for it. Hold on.
Bless you.
Thanks, Steve.
Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, so we have our great one-on-one program. And so we will come out to you, design an activity program specific to your needs, your interests. So going back to habits and creating things that really create joy for you, we can do that for you in our 1-to-1 program. It's called Shape Up. And we select the things that you are interested in, and we take those baby steps with you. So you can do it on your own, but you can also have one of our team members come and enjoy that with you throughout the week. So give us a call, and I'll go ahead and let me get rid of that little thing under there. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up and head on with our wonderful January day. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Friday at 8 o'clock.
Enjoy your first weekend in January in 2024.